Kia ora, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of Couch Coaches. Look, before we get into things, let me just ask you one little favor. If you're on this right now on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, doesn't matter where you're looking at, please give us a little bit of a like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channels. It really helps us. We're really thankful for the support we've been getting of late. So yeah, we just want to increase that support. So yeah, if you're there, just press the button. It's not hard. You know you want to do it. Press it. Press it right now. All right, guys. Well, my name is John Lazaron. I'm host of the show and my co-host, Richard Laddie. Richard, bro, how's your week been, mate?
All good, bro. Yeah. It's a bit of a shame not to have any Warriors footy to look forward to, but in saying that, it might have been a good thing because I really enjoyed all the league over the weekend. There were some great games, and I think early days. I know it's only round one, but I think it definitely seems like there's a clear top sort of 5 or 6 teams in the comp. And the Warriors aren't in that echelon yet. But you know, I'll be happy to see them put up a fight this week against a Mounties Eagles team that looks a little bit dangerous. I thought. Did you watch that game?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I thought the footy over the weekend was pretty good and was pretty lopsided. You know, with some teams just giving other teams a big hammering, including the one you just mentioned. Manly, which now gave me a lot of concerns, you know, especially when we're up against them this week, with the Warriors up against them this week. And good to see old boy Jazz Tavanga coming out in hooker there, you know, starting, and he looked really good. He looked sharp. His passes were sharp. Everything. He looked good. He looked good in that Manly jersey. As much as I don't want to say that, but yeah, he did look good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those classic, you know, a player leaves the Warriors and all of a sudden they're unveiled as a revelation at the next club. Yeah, the fact you say 9 as well, you know, like I feel like we saw him play a bit of 9 sort of earlier in his career, but not for a few years. He just hadn't looked in shape for it. But yeah, he looked very good. So happy to see it for him. And I'm sure that he'll get a huge he'll get a huge welcome this week at Mount Smart by the faithful. I feel like, obviously it wasn't like he left, was it? You know, he kind of got pushed out, but I feel like the faithful are still all going to be big Jazz fans and happy to see him thrive at a new club.
Oh, correct, bro. Totally agree. And, you know, and I'm with you on this one. Good on him, you know. Good for him. And like you said, we hadn't seen him, and he had played hooker at times, but kind of more like he was in there when there was an injury, you know, like a utility sort of type thing. But no, I mean, I'm not sure what the Manly squad setup is up right now. I don't know what's going on in terms of injuries. I don't know if there's someone else that normally plays hooker there. I just can't think of it on the top of my head. But you know, he slotted in there really well. Again, good for him. Good for him. Speaking of other Kiwis playing in other clubs, this week we received the big news of Dylan Brown. So before we go into, you know, talking about the Warriors and the team naming, etc., I want to talk about Dylan Brown quickly because he has just been, you know, he's just been offered a 10-year deal at the Knights worth 14.4 million New Zealand dollars. And apparently that lucrative deal is the highest that has ever happened in the NRL. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I've got some thoughts on that, but I want to hear your thoughts on that first because, you know, there's been a lot of talk going around, negative talk going around about this as well. But yeah, I've got my thoughts. So what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, we sort of touched on last week, didn't we? It's a huge contract, obviously the biggest ever. 10 years, it's a long time. The first thing I'd say is, I mean, good on Dylan Brown for taking it, you know. It's a very good career move on his behalf. And if a club thinks he's good enough for it, then I'm hopeful for him. We've seen what he can do, both in a Parramatta jersey and for the Kiwis. So there's no doubt about him being, you know, a very impressive half. But he's obviously played a lot of but majority of it in 6. We saw the Eagles on the weekend when Moses was gone. Brown was unable to sort of steer the team. That sort of came back a bit in the second half, but the game was well and truly lost. But the Storm had absolutely played them off the park by then, and Dylan Brown didn't really see him sort of do his thing at all. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. he'll obviously, I presume he'll be moving to 7, play half back, so he'll be taking control of the team. So it would depend who he has inside him. I feel like, to win the premiership these days, you have to have good halves. So that's
exactly.
what Newcastle have done. They've thought, okay, this is the best guy we can get. And a lot of it would have been the reason that the contract was so big is because that's sort of what Dylan Brown's management, I'm sure, we're pushing for. So,
Yeah.
if the Warriors had done it, I'd be probably ready. I'd love to see him play for the Warriors, but just on that big of a contract for that long, I'd be raising some questions. But yeah, best of luck to him. And I hope for his sake he does well and he'll be able to sort of create a good combination with Palmer there. If you've got that's a half of a very good spine, and it will be if the sort of deal pays off, he'll be one of the best spines in the comp. So best of luck to him. But probably not what I would have done if I was a football club owner.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Good on him. There has been a lot of negative talk about Dylan Brown going to the Knights, thinking like, oh, why would you give up playing at the Eels even though they're not playing that great? Why would you give up there to go to a club such as the Knights, who aren't doing anything not doing anything great at the moment? But I think people sometimes need to understand that footy players, while they're in the public's eye, they're not public servants. Then they're footy players. That's their job, and like anyone else would, if you got offered a lucrative job offer, with that kind of money, with a chance to set up your family for quite a long time, wouldn't you take it? Wouldn't you take it? And for me, it's like, good on him. You're throwing that money in front of you. I know it's a 10-year deal, which is a long deal. This big 10-year contract to take up. It's a big decision, but he said himself, I get to set my family up, and people need to understand that this is his job. This is what he does for a career. It's not like it's like he's doing this like he's a politician. He's doing this for the government and stuff. He's got a job to do, and he's setting his family up. So good on him. It's his choice. So good on him. But personally, I don't know if I would have gone to the Knights. There was some. His manager, Chris Orr, his agent was shopping him around. So I'm pretty sure there would have been other offers. I don't know if they would have been this big, but I don't know if I would have gone to the Knights, but that's just me personally. But he's made that decision, and good on him. And you made a good point about him being not being able to direct the play on the weekend, etc. Can he do that as a halfback if he went to number 7? Because I still think that he probably better at 6. But and like you said as well, we need if you're going to win a premiership, you need good halves. And in the halves that you've got need to play in their right position, and that's just another issue with the Warriors. We've got a bunch of halves there. Don't know if they're star halves yet, but have they sealed a position in the top side yet? Are they still trying to figure out who's better at what? Is someone better at 6, someone better at 7? So, but we'll talk about that later on. But again, I'm with you. Good on Dylan Brown. Good on Dylan Brown for taking that offer.
I was going to say just another point on there. He's only 24 as well. I just checked there. I was in my mind, I had him a little bit older. I had him about 26, 27. So I think I'm sort of briefly mentioned this last week, but you look at some of the top halves in the game. Like you saw what Reynolds and Hunt did to the Broncos the other night. DCA did for Manly. These guys are in their mid 30s and they're playing some of the best footy of their life. So he's still got, if he can stay fit, he's still got plenty of years of footy in front of him. So And obviously, Palmer's obviously there could be questions about what he's doing, but he's on a pretty mammoth deal as well. So they obviously spent a lot of cash on those two positions, but they are two of the top 3 important positions in a team. And if they want to win some premierships, it's a good attempt to do it at least. And we'll see if the gamble pays off.
Well, 10 years, right? Do you think? Does we're not obviously NRL players. We haven't been NRL players, but what do you think his thought process would have been? Because 10 years, yes, you're getting paid a lot of money, but do you want to also? Does the thought? Do I want to win a premiership come in? Does that come into play? Because I don't see the Knights being a premiership team. I mean, 10 years down the track, who knows what where they'll be at. But when they last won a premiership, they had Andrew Johns. They had Andrew Johns, they had the Johns brothers there, etc. They had a pretty decent team. Kirk Gidley, all those sort of players. But can they win a premiership? Would that is he possibly giving up the possibility of winning a premiership? I mean, we don't know who's going to win, but is he possibly giving up a premiership by going to a team that doesn't look like they're anywhere near winning a premiership?
Wow. I don't think the Eels really look like that. Apart from making the grand final a few years ago, they've hardly looked like a team that's going to win a premiership anytime soon, and they've recently cleared out. But yeah, a few of the teams and brought in some new guys, and they've obviously still got Mitch Moses there, but yeah, the fact they got rid of Gustafson, got rid of some of their big Campbell Gillard. There's obviously been a clean out, and he potentially wasn't. You imagine that he wasn't over the moon about that as well. Maybe there were some guys that he was tight with, like playing footy with. And I mean, who knows what's going to happen in 10 years' time? 10 years ago, would you have, what price would you have paid? What would you have had to take in for me to say, Penrith's going to win 4 premierships in a row? Like what would you? This could be the start. This could be the start of the night sort of building towards a dynasty. So who knows how it's going to play out? But I know it's hardly come from the Storm or the Panthers or the Roosters or the Knights I mean, and the Knights, they've been like not bad the last few years. They've been on the cusp of the 8 or not far off. So it's not like they've been horrible. They've just sort of been missing that that real X factor, and maybe he'll be that.
Yeah, no, true, and yes, you're right. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in 10 years' time? But yeah, I mean, just as we are currently speaking, that was what I was thinking. Is like, he's going to a team that doesn't look like winning a premiership at the moment. So, can he turn things around? We'll never know until it happens. I mean, I don't think he's actually signed on the dotted line yet, but I think that pretty much he's made his decision. So he's just waiting for the technicalities of signing the contract. But anyway, let's get into the Warriors stuff. Mate. So today, first team naming Tuesday, for round 2. We have the side. Do you have the side in front of you, mate? You want to read out the side?
Do I? I can get it.
Well, to be honest, while you're getting it, I just wanted to say I was quite disappointed in the side. Disappointed but not surprised because throughout the week, for the last few days, Webby's been talking about trying to give up the players a chance to prove themselves again after what happened in Vegas and stuff. But even with the Vegas, I didn't think that it was the right side anyway. But well, let's go. Let's read the squad out. Read the side out first. From 1 to 17, and then we can give our thoughts on the side.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the Vegas game, it's just the same 1 to 17 without the late switches. So chances at the back, fullback, Tuapiki and Tuatashik on the wing, Leotawa and Pompey in the centres, Harris Davida and Luke at 6, Luke Metcalf at 7, Chancellor Harris at 8, Wade Egan 9, Mitch Payne at 10, Kate Gwella, Duakore in the second row, and Aaron Clark playing lock, number 13. On the interchange, we've got Dylan Walker, Jackson Ford, Dimitri Raumalga, and Lika Halasima. And reserve Sam Healy, Tamara Martin, Eddie Iremia, Tuaiba, Bunty Afoa, and Edward Coffey. So as I said before, the same 17. There's obviously a lot of talk that we would have expected some. A lot of people saying, go change the half. But like, that's not the problem. I think we need to give these guys, those two. If they're going to go, if they're the two that are preferred, I'm more than happy for them to get a couple of games to really have a good go at it. Do it early in the season, if they can create, a good partnership, I'll be happy to do that. But sort of last year, there was a bit of this feeling that they just kept picking the same side and just kept getting the same results. So hopefully that's not going to happen again this season. But like the bench is pretty odd again. I feel like they need to have a bigger body on the bench. So either maybe Bunty or Fowl, come on interchange, or even Tomale. Jacob Latham, I'm not sure what the story there.
What's up with him? He must be out because he's a beast, and he needs to be there. I'm agreeing with you there.
He played New South Wales Cup on the weekend, so he's fit. And it seemed like the way they were going last year was probably one of the sort of shining lights. So maybe that, for whatever reason, the coaching staff might not think he's sort of ready for this grade. But when you've got when you got Vaimaga and Lukahalathima there, like I like all three of those players. But I feel like Jacob Latham's probably the one that's got the most future at the club. I would like to see him starting with Capewell. I've heard a few people say, Capewell's got to go, but like he's too experienced too experienced. And we saw it happen last year. It took him a few games, but by the end of the season, he was just Mr. Reliable.
But he needs a few good players around him as well. He needs the players around him to be shining too.
Exactly. No, Corey, like he's there to be a big body, to bash it up on both sides of the ball, but we just haven't seen that in the last couple of seasons. So obviously, like maybe he's brilliant in training and just can't bring that form into the game. But I'm not sure how many more weeks that they'll be able to just keep picking him and really sort of the question marks have been asked. And the other thing I reckon is they need to have a bit more of a variety on the bench. So maybe Sam Healy. I know you're a big Sam Healy fan, John. I haven't seen him play too much, but from what I saw in the trials, and he's obviously got a pretty massive rep behind him. So just for something different, a bit of utility. We've got when you just got 4 forwards, but none of them are that big, like it's not the biggest bench, but you're still playing 4 forwards. You've got like Aaron Clark and Walker, they'll probably, they can just do the big switcheroo, which is fine. I don't mind that. Dylan Walker adds a little bit more utility, but he's not sort of that player that he once was. We've seen him play in the halves and the centres and fullback in the past. So that's probably my thoughts and my questions about the team. I'm judging by your face, John, you've got a few things to unload.
I'm very disappointed in this team, to be honest. It's not because of what happened in Vegas. It's more just to be honest, I just think how long can you go with allowing players to try and prove themselves? How long do you go with that? I mean, it's like, as we spoke about last week, it's like a continuation from 2024 where they kept players in certain positions just saying, no, they'll come right, believing in them. And I love that kind of thing, but it just didn't work. So you've got to try something fresh. And Vegas was a disaster. Like, I don't care what anyone says. It was a disaster. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. They played poorly. And, and I'm not trying to, dig a knife into the back of the Warriors here. It's just because I'm such a big fan of them. I just couldn't believe how poorly they played. And, not taking anything away from Canberra, but just, we played poorly. And I just think that if some players are probably in better positions, they could probably start in there. For example, I honestly don't think Chan should be fullback. That's just my number one thing you say. I think that either Roger or Tuapiki should be there. And I think Chance can go into the centres. We've mentioned that before, so I don't have to go into more detail about that. But going to the halves, for example, you mentioned it before. If you don't have a great, amazing halves combination, you're not going to make it very far. And that's where the Warriors, for many years just seem to stumble. We always maybe have one star in there, like Sean Johnson, but there's not someone there to support him. There's not someone there to support him. And right now, who are the halves? Like, the options. Luke Metcalf, Te Maire Martin, Tamari Martin, sorry.
Tamari Metcalf.
Yeah.
Harris Tavita.
All right.
Cowboys.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't live there one up. Harris Tavita, and Tana Boy. That's pretty much. Oh, you got Jet Cleary there as well, but obviously he'll probably have more time in Jersey Flag and also in New South Wales Cup, before makes a move into the first grade side. But those are the 4 first grade options that you have at the moment. And honestly, not one of them are putting their hands up to say, I've got that jersey. That jersey's mine. I know Luke Metcalf has come out saying, I want the 7 jersey, but Has he sealed it? I don't know because for example, a halfback is someone who directs the play. If a halfback has got flair and can direct the play, awesome. Sean Johnson's a good example of that. But I don't know if Luke Metcalf can do both. I know he's an attacking player. He's got speed, but can he incite vision and his attacking play at the same time? Because for some reason, like in Vegas, it felt like he put so much focus on the vision that it neglected his attacking play. So I don't know whether he needs to be a 6 and who would be the 7 then. Go back to Luke Metcalf. His kicking game isn't the greatest. I mean, it's okay, but it's not like wow. And then you go, okay, then who? If he went to 6, who would play 7? I wouldn't put Harris Tavita there. I don't think he's got the kicking game, or the direction either. But the two other options are Tamade Martin or Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd didn't have that great of a game in New South Wales Cup in the week. He's got a big boot. He's got a massive boot. That I'm not sure if he's the number 7 yet. Still needs another couple of games just for me to think, okay, maybe possibly he could be the number 7. But I think Tamade Martin has proven himself at 7. When he played last season at number 7, they had a good win ratio. So again, who's putting their hand up? Who's putting their hand up for those jerseys? I don't think anyone has got those jerseys sealed just yet. But we know that Webster's going with Metcalf. He's got a lot of faith in him, and I hope that they come right, because you need a good halves combination to go far, to go deep in this comp. That's just the reality of it. And also the forwards, awesome forward pack. I hope they don't switch Barnett for Jackson Ford again and put him into the lot. That was just ridiculous. Come on, we have to all admit it. That was a ridiculous play. I don't know what was Webby thinking there. But as I mentioned last week in my hot take, I'd have Dylan Walker at 13. I'd have him starting at lock. I think it's good for him to start there and start the game fast with momentum. I wouldn't even have Jackson Ford in my 17. Nothing against the guy. I just think there are better players. I'd have Dimitri there and Halasima there. And I'd have Healy in there, but I'll be switching Dylan Walker with Aaron Clark. And I wouldn't have Marata Nukuri there. I wouldn't have Nukuri there. I love the guy. I think he's awesome. But I just think that just based on form, I wouldn't have him there. And I would personally have Jacob Laban, but he's not even in the running. He's not even in the 23, the extended squad. So I'm not sure what is happening there. Something to find out, I guess. But I think the rest of the side is fine. But those changes I would make, and I think would be a lot better. But who knows? Maybe he's giving them a chance on Friday, and to see if they come right.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I wasn't sure what happened there. My mic kind of turned off and my headphones turned off, so a bit lost. Yeah. But you can hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you still, mate. Yeah, cool. If you're listening to this,
I'm with you, bro. Yeah, no, I'm with you there. So, good. Yeah, the Jackson Ford fact is a funny one. I'm the same with you. I like him, but he's probably there's better when we're at full strength. I don't think that he should. I question whether he should be in the squad. What he brings, like he could. Yeah. Maybe if sort of like KPL went down, he'd come in and sort of fill a void, starting and. Or in that sort of second row there, but we'll see what happens. Early days, maybe just giving some of these guys a couple of chances. As I said before about the half, I know there's questions about Metcalf as 7. And I started season, I said I would prefer to have Tamade Martin playing 7. I feel like when he has that 7 jersey, he really thrives. But from what I saw of Metcalf in the trials, I really liked. I think Vegas, the occasion just got to them. I'm not going to use the dimensions of the field being smaller as an excuse, but I think it was just the combination of it all. So I would love to see them in front of a home crowd, put on a good show. But as I mentioned earlier, they're going to be coming up against a Manly team that will be feeling pretty full of confidence after the performance they put on against the Cowboys. I didn't have the score written down. I think it was about 42-12.
42-12. 42-12.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah. So I stayed up and watched it. And they looked dangerous. They got threats all around the park. That right edge in particular, Ola Kawatu, just sub, and with Tommy Turbo, just every touch he had, he was either breaking the line or he was getting a line break assist or he was getting a try assist. Because my captain and super coach this week and got me about 120 points. So it's a good sign. But yeah, hopefully I might take the captain armband off him this week, and I hope that the Warriors will be able to bring him down. But I'm a little bit concerned about that Warriors left edge defense after what we saw at Vegas. There could be a few tries leaks down that edge if Manly can sort of get into that mood again with DCE and Brooks kind of leading the way. So, but it'll be good to be back at the Fortress. I believe it's sold out again. So let's see if you're going to call it again, John, this year. That they might sell out every game.
Nah, I think they'll nearly sell out every game, but it won't be sold out every game. If they let me rephrase that. If they start to pick up their form in terms of winning ways, they start to do better, I think crowds they'll pull the crowds in still. But I think if they continue to disappoint, and I'm just being realistic here, they continue to disappoint. I know there are a lot of loyal fans out there that will still stick with them, but I think if they continue to disappoint, a lot of people will just stay and watch it on the couches. You know what I mean? And,
they were hardly really keeping us happy and satisfied last season.
And they were coming off a winning season, though. They were coming off a winning season, so people still were holding hope.
But by the end of the year, they were out of finals contention, and they were still selling it out. So
that's because the tickets sold early, though. The tickets sold early because I remember looking and going far, and a lot of the tickets are already gone. A lot of them are memberships as well. I mean, good for the Warriors. They're doing really good. They've done a great job with their marketing, their commercial areas, and also with their social media. They do a great job. They do way better than like Super Rugby, etc. Super Rugby doesn't come anywhere near what NRL do when it comes to social media, etc. But I did like the Moana Pacifica winning chant that they did, in their changing sheds. If you didn't see it, get a chance to have a look at that on their Facebook page or Instagram. It was really good. But I'm saying that they won't sell every year. Oh, possibly because they've already sold up a lot of tickets now. But yeah, I don't think they will. But they'll be close. I'm calling that's my call for that. But going back to the game, mate. I mean, you're talking about the Manly side. You're talking about some players in the Manly team, and yes, it's a scary proposition, isn't it? The Warriors, the way the Warriors played in Vegas, and then the way Manly played. The Trbojevic brothers there, all three of them are in hot form. They've got a great house pairing with Luke Brooks and Cherry Evans doing the job there. Our boy Chair they're number 9 as well. Their spine is amazing, and like you said, they'll destroy us on the left edge if we don't get our act together when it comes to defense. So it's scary. I'm a bit like I remember when just like realizing that we're playing Manly after they played. I was like, ooh, it was like, oh, we've got the next. We've got the next. We've got the next.
They'd love to have Rocco Berry back to this game. Chuck him on that left edge and just to shore up the defense a bit. But I think Pompey. I'd rather Pompey be there than Leatoa. I like Leatoa, but he's probably at the moment more of an attacking centre than a defensive centre. So it's probably better to have Pompey defending there, and then is it Cape Vale will be in there as well. So hopefully they were doing it this week, and they will obviously be well aware of that the threat, especially. But they just got to keep their eyes on Tommy T, because man, everything he touched in the belt. That was one of the most dominant performances I've seen for a player in a single game in NRL in a while. I reckon he was everywhere. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried.
Yeah, I admit I'm nervous for this game. I just really hope that Vegas was just a little bit of a blip. It was just like you said, they were spooked by the occasion and etc. And I just hope that that was enough of a warning to say, guys, we can't play like that again. We've got to do this. Yeah.
And Manly have got a pretty good record at in New Zealand at least. They've done a 13-6 win record in New Zealand. I think they've had a game in Christchurch and a game somewhere else as well. And even in Mount Smart, they lead 11, they hit 11-5. So it's quite rare to see such dominance, especially at Mount Smart. You know, at a stadium that we always say, we've got a pretty good record there. But Manly's obviously been a bit of a bogey team. I think last year was the 22-all draw. That was last year where, you know, that Golden Point game and Sean Johnson got his leg side that by Josh Alloway. So I'd love to see another tight game. And I think they will be aware, you know, of the expectation, the Warriors that, you know, and the fans are all a little bit upset after a far from impressive performance on the weekend. But so hopefully they can keep it tight and just keep that keep the Tommy T threat under control.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, let's see what happens, because you know, we can go on about this all night long. You know, it is a worry after just one round. We were all the performance was that bad that even just after one round, all of us are like, all supporters are like, ooh.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I was disappointed, but I'm not throwing the towel in yet.
Never
I
am
think
I.
we'll be a lot better than that in the coming weeks. But it's just a shame we've got. There's probably 3 teams I wouldn't have wanted to play this week. Storm, the Broncos, and Manly, just from their performances last week.
Yeah.
And the way they just played the teams off the park in the first half. So to get one of them, and arguably, I think I was thinking before about my sort of power rankings, and I think I had my top 3 were Manly at 1, and then I had the Storm at 2 and Broncos at 3. I think, very much the Broncos look like they're back, but Manly look like they'll. And we both, from memory, we both had them quite high on our top 8 rankings. We both thought, you know, we'd like what we've seen last year, and we expect them to get better.
Yeah.
And I know one game and the Payette Cowboys team that didn't look great. But also, they were just played off the park by a far superior team that looked like they were well drilled, and if they can stay fit, there's obviously the Tommy Turbo can stay fit equation. But I have seen a little bit of chat on social media about sort of Webb's just got no idea. Webb's just got to go. So for this week's ChatGPT, I decided to ask ChatGPT what he thought. What they thought of Andrew Webb as a coach. Sorry, I've just got
here he comes. Drum
roll up here. So the question I asked was, is Andrew Webster a good NRL coach? This was ChatGPT's answer. Yes. Andrew Webster is widely regarded as a good NRL coach, especially after his impact with the New Zealand Warriors. Why is Webster considered a good coach? Number 1, revived the Warriors 2023 season. Took over as head coach in 2023 and led the Warriors to a top 4 finish for the first preliminary finals in 2011. Helped change the team's culture, emphasising resilience, structure and defensive accountability. Was awarded the Dally M Coach of the Year. Number 2, strong tactical mind. Known for his attacking strategies and structured game plans. Improved the Warriors' defence, making them a more disciplined team. Number 3, experience and leadership. Worked as an assistant coach under Ivan Cleary at Penrith, where he helped develop a dominant system. His experience with the Panthers' premiership-winning squad contributed to its coaching success. And number 4, player development. Helped elevate the games of players like Sean Johnson and Adam Fanua-Blake. Encouraged young talent, ensuring squad depth and future stability. Final verdict. Yes, Andrew Webster is a very good NRL coach, and his success with the Warriors proves he has the ability to transform a team and build long-term success. So I think it's probably more based off the 2023 season than last year.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, you know, did they not watch the ChatGPT not watch the last season?
And it reminds you just how good that debut season was. So let's hope that he can get back into there. And he talked about sort of, you know, nurturing some of these young fellas, and if he can, hopefully he can do that with some of the, these guys in the team this year and fill some of those gaps. So, I sort of read that. I was like, it's probably more about 2023, but it still says that he's a good coach. So I think we need to stop stressing out about that too much. Eh?
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I've never sort of really questioned Webby in terms of his ability as a coach. I've questioned sometimes his selections, and like Vegas is a big one. That's a big one where put Jackson Ford on it prop and Barnett at 13. But I think everyone saw that, thought that was a bit odd, that was a bit bizarre. But no, I mean ChatGPT, yes, I agree with some of those points. Some of the points I'm a bit but I'm still think that he's the right man for the job. I still think he is the right man for the job. But the Warriors, just the players need to pick up their game, But look, I'm going to ask you, what do you want to see from the Warriors this week? Because I felt like last season, for example, whenever we came to talk about the game, we came to to review the game, it was like every week was like the same answers. You know what I mean? It's like we were just repeating ourselves because they were doing the same. They had a game plan and it just wasn't working, but they still stuck with it, hoping that it'll come right. It never came right. And a lot of attacking, inside the opposition's end zone where they would do a lot of inside ball, cut inside and stuff. And they were just doing that, but there was no players weren't creating gaps, so it was just like they were passing the ball to someone running into a bunch of players ready to tackle them. There was just no vision. There was nothing there. The kicking game was atrocious. And again, I just feel I don't want to go for another season of reviewing matches where we're talking about the same thing where they can't execute their plays. Their attacking plays down the opposition's end, and also the kicking game, etc. Things like that. And I don't want to keep repeating this. So what do you want to see change from the Warriors this week? Because they're at the moment they're just continuing what they're doing from last season, or from that one game only though.
Yeah. So I had an answer, and then you kept talking, and I kind of lost the answer.
Sorry, man. I talk too much sometimes. I talk too much sometimes. Sorry, mate.
I was feeling like I remember that. I want to see. I really want to see the Hubs take the ball by the horns. I want to see Metcalf. We saw a couple of 40-20s in the trial game, so I'd absolutely love to see him. Just be a bit more smart at the kicking game. It was sort of, and the game against the Raiders, it just seemed a bit predictable. It was almost like some of those games where Sean Johnson was playing 7 last year, and we were just sort of kicking deep and just hoping the opposition would make a mistake. I took Dylan Walker for us to force the first line trying to drop out of the game, So, it'd be cool to see him sort of take more control there, and Harris Tavita to give him sort of free rein if he's going to play 6 to run it a bit more, because he is a really good runner of the ball. And I like it. He's got a lot of potential on their left edge there. Especially with so with Pompey and Roger, we saw a few chances sort of go big in on their left edge. In the Vegas game, I feel like there was a little chip that Roger couldn't quite get down, but there was a couple of times where Pompey maybe took it into sort of the contact instead of he should have popped it out to the set. So if he can run it a bit and cause some troubles on that the Manly right edge, sort of give it them the back, that'd be great to see. So that probably, and then I really want to see Nuakura, put the down a lot. I want to see him just put on some big hits, like he's going to be up against Olakau'atu, I think. Is Olakau'atu playing it? Yeah. So, we're going to need to see the best from him, because Olakau'atu is one of, if not the best second row in the game at the moment. The way he runs the ball, just absolute powerhouse. So I want to see what Nuakura is there, what he's getting paid to do. I want to see him on both sides of the ball, bringing some physicality and getting us some growth ball and putting some big hits on. My two sort of areas left, 3 players that I want to see do some magic.
Fair enough. Do you think if the Warriors fail this weekend, and when I say fail, I mean like sometimes you lose games, but sometimes they can be really tight. They can still put in a good performance. But if they fail this weekend in regards to the way they perform, like if they play another Vegas type game, do you think Webster has to put the foot down and say, look, I can't keep picking you guys and being loyal to you here, and giving you a chance to revive the side again? Do you think he needs to go, okay, I need to make changes here? Do you think that's what he Do you think it's only one more bad performance away from making changes? Do you think the Warriors are one bad performance away from Webster making changes? Or do you think he will continue to do what he does?
I think like there's probably things they could have done last year, and if that was sort of set in stone, maybe be alright. But I think after 2 games, you don't want to see any too massive knee-jerk reaction. I think especially in the half, like I think if that's the half combination they've highlighted and they want to go with, I think they still need to just give them another couple of games and see whether they can make it work. In regards to the likes of Nokore and players like that, I think potentially, like I think last season I was thinking, just and until last week, just put him on the bench or drop him to New South Wales Cup for a few weeks and just see if he can regain some of that fire, because he just doesn't seem to have it at the moment. And we know what he's capable of, but I just feel we haven't seen it for close to a year, really. Just so far from his best. He obviously had an injury last year, maybe never quite came back 100% from it. But it's a new season. He needs to really, he'd be the one that is in most danger for me.
Yep, I agree with you there, and but I honestly think that if the Warriors, if they lose on Friday night and they lose poorly, I think Webster will be under pressure to make changes. I really believe he will be, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see a big, a lot of changes, and then players that are possibly, back from injury like Rocco Berry coming in, that sort of thing. I think you'll start to see that if they lose poorly. If they lose but it's they still play well, it's a different story. But But I asked you what you want to see. I basically just want to see just a better all round game, with a bit more fluency, like not just the same stuff that they do every time. Then where the other teams, the opposition, they just know what they're going to do. So otherwise, there's no creativity. I want to see some creativity, as well. I want to see the defense to be, I want the defense to improve, where we're not letting teams just offload at ease in those games. That sort of hurt us a bit, because when you do that, teams get away, and then forwards get tired more faster and more easily. So that's something I want to see improve. I want to see Metcalf be able to combine, because he's starting at halfback, combine organising the team, directing the play, but also not allowing that to be his main, like it is his main focus, but not allowing that to stop him from taking a big run as well, as we know he can do. And I also would like to see the younger players who are on the 17 to get more game time, more minutes. I'd like to see them get more minutes. And some of them didn't get a lot of minutes, as you know, it was in Vegas, which is why there was a lot of questions around the subs and who came on and why did they come on, when they came on, and etc. There was a lot of questions around that. So I really would like to see the young guys get more of give them more of a chance to show what they can do. Because we've seen them do, make some dents before, so why not give them more of a chance to do that? I just didn't think they had a chance. They weren't given a lot of time to do that. So that's what I would like to see from the Manly game. But we can't do Wally M's this week, because obviously there was no game played on the weekend. So are we pausing that for now?
Yeah. I think I'm going to predict that Luke Metcalf gets 3 this week. That's where I'll leave it.
Okay, all right. Very cool.
And if I could give a player from another team 3 Wally points from the rest of round 1, it would be Tom Trbojevic, which is the worrying. But I think he was my player of the round last week.
Yeah, I mean, he's so good in the air as well. So tall and stuff, but he's just really good in the air. It's just going to be hard for our players to win the battle in the air. That's going to be a hard one, isn't it? But here's hoping. So I thought I'd go into my hot take for this week. It's an interesting one. It's a controversial one. Probably really unpopular. It's going to be an unpopular hot take amongst fans, but you know what? I don't care. Because it was something I took it off the Matthew Ridge episode that he did on between two beers. that podcast. I listened to the when he spoke about the Warriors, so that element of the episode, and he spoke about some things that the Warriors that need to change, and he called them dead wood. He was talking about the coaches. Do you know what I'm talking about? This episode? Did you hear about this, or did you see this?
Oh, I saw a little snip on social media, but I haven't heard it. No.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
listen
Yes.
to, I don't listen to rival podcasts. I only podcast I listen to is us. I just listen to it on
Well,
repeat.
I saw the short story. I saw the short story, so I decided to listen to that part of it. It was a long episode, but I listened to that 6-minute part of it.
It's a very good podcast. I haven't listened to the episode.
Yeah. No, but he was talking about like he didn't say names, but you know who he was talking about. Like he was saying, for example, there's a lot of, he said the coaches there, they've been there 20 years. What have you done? He was a bit more verbal about it in terms of the words, choice of words he used, but sorry, vocal about it. That's what I was trying to say. And he was just talking about it. It made me think, and I think he's got a good point. I think that the Warriors have retained a lot of coaching staff that have been there for too long. They've done nothing. And Stacey Jones, for example, he was an amazing player, right? He's a legend of the game, a Warriors icon, a Kiwis icon. No one questions, his status in the game. But just because you were a great player, just because you're a legend of the game, does that make you a great coach? Does that make you, an amazing coach? And the answer is no. And the thing is, this is why I thought it was so crazy when the Kiwis had an opportunity to have Wayne Bennett as their head coach when Michael Maguire left because of New South Wales commitments. They chose Stacey Jones, and look what happened. In the Pacific Nations Cup. And yeah, I just think that he's the wrong person. And I thought a lot of the reasons why he's there and got chosen for the Kiwis just because of his name. His status amongst New Zealand Rugby League. And I just thought it was the wrong choice. Imagine having Wayne Bennett there, putting his hand up saying, I want to do this, and you turn him down. It was just odd.
Yeah, no, on there, I think Maguire wanted to stay, didn't he? But we said no, it was a conflict.
He did.
And then you go and get someone as the Kiwis coach. So I don't really see what, if you're worried about a workload, I think conflict of interest shouldn't be a problem. I think it would be an advantage because you'd have a guy who's coached half of the Kangaroos team. Yeah, but I can see where you're coming from. Absolutely into the game, but he might be a good assistant, to be honest. Yeah, he's been there for a few years, but definitely not head coach material. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into the coaches sort of enough to sort of comment on this. I feel like, I had to Google who the rest of them were. To be honest, when you were talking about it the other day. You mentioned the other day, I was like, I was like, okay, Richard Agar, and I was like, I'd only really heard of him from strangling some UK journalists for saying, obviously, Slade Griffin's been there for a while, and Stacey Jones. Stacey Jones is a special teams coach, so I don't know what that means. Probably kicking, and sort of like in the NFL when you've got your special teams that come on to do the kicking. And,
yes.
It's probably handy having someone like that kind of like just working on kicking and some of the, probably with the halves and the sort of the spine. So probably won't be happening anytime soon, John. But yeah,
but that's my hot take, mate. I just think that in summarizing what I was trying to say is that I'd like to see the Warriors do a bit of a clean sweep in the coaching ranks there in the Warriors and bring in truthfully, and I say this because it's just reality of it, bring in some Aussies, some hardened rugby league Aussies, into the coaching ranks. Just like we need Aussies in our first grade team to bolster the team. You can't play a Warriors team full of New Zealanders because you can say yes you can the Kiwis, but the Kiwis are full of the elite New Zealand players all bunched into one. Whereas these are players, not all of them, play for the Kiwis, etc. So I just think that, they just need to do a clean sweep of the coaching ranks. Not Webster, but bring in some other coaches that just may not only just have the ability to coach in terms of attacking and defense and stuff, but with the mind, the mentality side of things. And there's another thing that Matthew Rich talked about. He said the things about Warriors players, which he experienced and he thinks still goes on, is that they don't always have the mentality to win. premiership sort of thing. So you can't really sort of falter what he's saying there. So that's why I thought that would be my hot take. Probably might be it might not get a lot of favors amongst people listening to this, but I just think that's just a.
It's a hot take to thought. You don't need to be apologising for a hot take.
I'm just saying that they might. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
If you're doing it every week and everyone's like, oh yeah, no, that's true. I agree with you. Like that, that's not a hot take. It's just a popular opinion. So you gotta.
What I'm trying to say might be unpopular, but yeah, Stacey Jones. I think.
That's what I mean. You want it to be unpopular. You want
it to be unpopular. Is that what you mean? Okay, fair enough. But it's just like as I was saying before. It's just like because you're an amazing sports player. You're an amazing cricket player, a rugby player, football player, rugby league player. You're a star of the game. That doesn't mean you are automatically set up to be a commentator. Or involve the media. Oh, but despite the fact that pretty much happens anyway, there are rugby league stars out there, sports stars out there who are working in the media that, sometimes you wonder, how are they there? And it's just because of their name. So just because you're a sports star doesn't mean you were made to, be a league star. A commentator or a media star or a coach. That's just my take on things. And at the Warriors specifically, wouldn't mind seeing a lot of changes in the coaching ranks. Don't know if it will happen, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. So that's my hot take for this episode. All right, so but I think we'll wrap it up there. We've spoken about team naming, what we want to see Warriors doing against Manly. Before we go, tips. Yeah, that's what to say. Yeah, tips. You want to finish it off with tips, mate?
So I thought you were just gonna wrap it up. I was like,
no. I was getting to it. I've been talking too much tonight, as you mentioned. So yeah.
Thursday night, Knights versus Dolphins at Newcastle. I'm gonna go the Knights after on the back of the signing of Dylan Brown.
I was just literally about to say the same thing. I'll give it to the Knights, but it'll be a 1-12. I don't know if you're keeping the 13 plus 1-12.
I think we'll just go head to head.
All right, Knights.
Go 1-12, 13 plus in the Warriors Eagles game. The Warriors game. So Warriors Eagles Friday night in Mount Smart Stadium.
Yeah, well, look, I don't mind being proven if I'm being proven wrong about this, but I will go with Manly.
Yeah, I would love to have gone against you there, but you're already ahead of me. You're ahead of me after the first round.
Yeah,
so,
but what I mean is, what I'm saying is, I don't mind being proven wrong. If Warriors win, then all good. They're all good.
Yeah. Panthers Roosters. Panthers are at home. Yeah.
Panthers. Yeah.
Roosters look like they're in a bit of trouble. Dragons Rabbitohs should be a great game, I reckon.
Dragons.
Both had close wins.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Rabbitohs there. I thought Wayne looks, even with a few injuries, Wayne looks to have them in a good place. And that Jai Gray, he looks at fullback. He's a real star. And the guy playing halfback, Humphries, I think it was, could be completely wrong there, but he was great as well. Cowboys Sharks up next. Do you reckon the Cowboys can bring it back after the disappointing showing on Saturday night?
Nah, I think the Sharks look pretty decent, especially with AFB there now. I'll go with Sharks.
Yeah. Same here. Raiders Broncos. Raiders at home.
You said Raiders Broncos.
My beloved dude.
Oh no, Broncos. They look really strong, especially under Maguire. Again, bringing Maguire up. Wherever he goes, he changes things. So yeah, Maguire is a big factor there. So yeah, Broncos.
I'm gonna go with the Raiders here. Never easy going to Canberra, and I never had any doubt for them to be good this season. So my beloved Raiders. Eels Tigers up next. Both come off losses, but the Eels was a little bit more disappointing than the Tigers. So I'm happy to back the Tigers. Eels playing at home though. Contact.
Yeah. I'll say Tigers as well. Yeah.
And to finish it off, Bulldogs with the Titans. The Titans obviously had a bye last week, and the Bulldogs got up over the Dragons in a pretty tight contest.
It's a hard one. I'm not sure because I didn't really watch a lot of the Titans, during trials, etc. So I'll say Bulldogs for now. But I mean, this is a very unknown one for me. This game.
Yeah, I think I'll go Bulldogs as well. I think Titans, the Bulldogs would get some experience out of having that one game, and then Titans, I think, not expecting too much from there again this season. So we see those back, though, so we didn't see him back after
Yes, that's a good point.
ACL.
Good point. All right, well, I think that's our tips. I think we've pretty much got similar answers except for you agreeing with the Raiders. Is that right? And Souths.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Couple of pretty one-sided games, but
all good. Well, all right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll wrap it up from there. Again, we just want to say thank you for all the support you've been giving us. We've seen a lot of great feedback lately, and a lot of more subscribers coming on. So this is why I'm just pushing it right now. If you're listening to this and you've listened to right to the end, we are thankful to and grateful to you for doing that. Please hit the subscribe button and the like button. It helps the algorithm as well, to go out and spread what we're doing here further out. So yeah, and spread the word about us. And we'll catch you next week when we review the Warriors against Manly. Hopefully it'll be a Warriors win. Let's go. Good night, everyone.
We've got the fans.